After two successful series and multiple key appearances in titles such as the Fantastic Four and Avengers in the 1980s and early 1990s, She-Hulk is mostly absent from comics outside of a few one-shot stories and team appearances in other titles from February 1994 when the run on Sensational She-Hulk ended with issue number 60. Her next major appearance would not be until May 2002 in the one-shot title The Thing and She-Hulk: The Long Night. In May 2004, She-Hulk was given a new title and launched in a wave of 6 new Marvel books with the creative team Dan Slott and Juan Babilo. Despite favorable critical reviews, the new series could not escape the low sales numbers that the title received from their initial cluster-style launch. Marvel brought the series to a close with issue number 12 and promised a relaunch of the season as a second season 8 months later. In typical She-Hulk fashion, the 8-month gap is actually alluded to in the body of the story itself. With the original creative team, Dan Slott and Juan Babilo from the previous series, the book returned 8 months later as promised in October 2005. The third issue of She-Hulk was billed as the 100th issue of a She-Hulk comic book and had story and art by numerous artists, including Vosberg. There was no new artwork by Buscema or Byrne, who were represented by reprints of the Sensational She-Hulk number 1 and Savage She-Hulk number 1. Dan Slott's last issue would be number 21, as the reins will be turned over to Peter David on issue number 22. Marvel Comics announced that She-Hulk number 38 in February 2009 will be the final issue of the series due to what Peter David stated as editorial issues with Geoff Loeb's Hulk series leading to low sales figures. David stated, "I did not even know that she was going to be in the Hulk. Had I known, I would have done things differently. As it was, there were thousands of readers who were not saying, 'Gee, they're portraying her wrong in the Hulk.' Instead, they were saying, 'Why should we care about her hero's journey in her own title when she's obviously gotten over her hostility towards Tony Stark in Hulk?'" The 2000s also see the mantle of She-Hulk challenged by Lyra, the daughter of Hulk and Thundra, who is the lead character in All New Savage She-Hulk, a miniseries written by Fred Van Lent. In 2012, She-Hulk appeared in Future Foundation by Matt Fraction and Mike Allred. During the Fear Itself storyline, She-Hulk would join Howard the Duck, Nighthawk, and the Frankenstein monster to form a 4-person team called the Fearsome Four to stop the Man-Thing from its destructive path. An ongoing She-Hulk series written by Charles Soule and drawn by Javier Pulido debuted in 2014, running for 12 issues, where She-Hulk would face off with Matt Murdock in court. Starting in May 2015, She-Hulk appeared as one of the main characters in A-Force, an all-female Avengers spinoff launched by G. Willow Wilson, Marguerite Bennett, and Jorge Molina during Marvel's Secret War crossover. From December 2016 to March 2018, She-Hulk would star in the comic book titled Hulk. This series focused on how she dealt with the trauma stemming from her cousin's death and injuries she sustained at the hands of Thanos as fallout from the Civil War II event. She appeared colored gray, like Hulk's Joe Fixit persona, and there were significant differences in tone from her previous lighthearted stories. In June 2020, we also find out that She-Hulk is immortal, just like her famous cousin in the iconic Immortal Hulk run. That brings us to present day, where in January 2022, an all-new She-Hulk series debuted. The Marvel website describes it as such: the best character ever, back in her own series and about to glam up the whole Marvel universe. Jennifer Walters, aka Sensational She-Hulk, is no longer savage and needs to put her life back together. She has a career to rebuild, friends to reconnect with, and possibly represent in a court of law, and enemies to, well, she may not want to connect with them, but they are going to connect with her. And the last page of this first issue is going to send Jen down a road she's never traveled, and that will shake up her life and possibly the whole Marvel universe. The 2000s had a lot of ups and downs for the character She-Hulk, but she still proves to be one of the comic book community's favorite superheroes with her fun-loving and glam lifestyle. I cannot wait to see what the rest of the 2000s bring us for this character. Now, let's look at all the key issues spanning the last 2 decades.